Hey guys out there in RX Muscle Land, it's Dave Palumbo, and it's Thanksgiving 2014, and I bet you guys want to know how Dave Palumbo eats on Thanksgiving. Because let's face it, as bodybuilders, you know, we could either go crazy and indulge in all the sweetness and all the fattiness and all the junk food on Thanksgiving and then feel like crap for the next couple of days, or we can be smart eaters. I was always one of these guys that picked my food very carefully. Now, you can't go wrong with turkey. Although the type of cut of turkey you eat is greatly different, from white meat to dark meat to wings to legs. I was always a breast meat type of guy. And when I would strip the turkey, I would always go for all the white meat, you know. But I know some of you like the dark meat, which has a little bit more fat in it. Watch the skin. The skin is where you get all the bad saturated fat, which is probably delicious tasting when it's all crunchy and everything like that, but it's not the best for you. So if you're going to go for turkey, go white meat number one, the dark meat number two, and skin should be your last pick, okay? And obviously, I don't know anyone who eats pure turkey gristle, but I'm sure some of you out there, that's probably the worst thing you can do, obviously. Not the best type of fat. That's not a healthy fat, as Dave Palumbo would say. It's not like salmon fat. So you can't go wrong with turkey. I would make that most of my meal, because that's the stuff that's building muscle, repairing muscle, and is going to make you fall asleep because of the high tryptophan content after the meal's over. But it's the other stuff that we tend to get stuck up on, and we tend to overeat or eat the wrong stuff, and we pick the wrong choices. I like to go, where I usually go for Thanksgiving, I look for the stuff that's rice based or sweet potato based, as opposed to the stuffings. The stuffings tend to be bread based, and those tend to be much more fattening, obviously more sugar in them, more insulin spiking type ingredients. I look for brown rice based stuff. Back in the day, my grandmother used to make these amazing rice balls, and I loved them because they really didn't have a lot of fat in them. They were starchy based. They would have little pieces of maybe some chopped meat or some chopped turkey in there, and they were delicious. Although nowadays I really don't see those anymore, because you know a lot of people don't make them. They're a little more work intensive. Also, if you're going to go with sweet potatoes, watch the sweet potatoes that have tons of sugar added to them. You know, luckily, the places I've gone in the past and the Thanksgivings I've eaten, usually the sweet potatoes are almost pure sweet potato. If you cook a sweet potato long enough in the oven, it's sweet enough as it is. You don't need to add extra sugar. Now, I do know some people, sometimes they melt marshmallows on top. I've eaten recipes that actually had goat cheese mixed into them, which was really delicious because it kind of replaces the milk, and it's not so bad as far as the high lactose content. And I just like the taste of it, and it makes it a little bit more filling. Gravy. Gravies are, you know, made from so many different, I guess you could say, sources of fat that you really have to be careful. A lot of people take the drippings from the turkey and make a gravy out of that. That's the worst, because that's the saturated fat, the junk. I don't like that. It might taste good, but personally, I don't like it. I make my own gravy out of macadamia nut oil, and usually I get a gravy mix. So instead of taking the gravy mix and mixing it with the drippings from the turkey, mix it with macadamia nut oil. Heat it up a little. Mac oil can be heated and it doesn't degrade, and you're going to have a delicious, healthy, fat-based gravy. Cranberries. You know, a lot of people like cranberries. I'm not a big cranberry fanatic, but what you can do at the end of the meal if you want is you can take my fiberlyzed fruit punch and you can mix it in water, put it in the refrigerator, and you can cut it up and you can have fiberlyzed cranberry sauce. How great is that? That might be the biggest innovative advance in Thanksgiving dinner in all the years of people making Thanksgiving Day dinners. And guess what? The next day you'll be able to go to the bathroom with no problem at all, with ease, with ease. With dessert, what do you do for dessert? Well, personally, I don't like all the creamy, you know, sugary stuff. I tend to go for the apple pies. And every time I go to Thanksgiving, because the people I go with tend to work out, usually there's a low sugar apple pie, and that to me is delicious. I don't need all the, you know, and like, let's face it, another big favorite of mine is pumpkin pie. And you know what? You can make a pumpkin pie, okay, using a little sucralose, Splenda, even some stevia, and you can avoid all those high sugars if you really want to, if you put the time into it. It's all a matter of preparation. If you're making your own Thanksgiving, you can gear it and make it healthy and still have it taste great. And the great thing about the way I eat Thanksgiving dinner is that I eat it, and then 2 hours later, I eat it again, and then 2 hours later, I eat it again. Because you know what? I'm not stuffed to the gills. I don't feel like passing out for the next 100 days because I ate so many grams of sugar and fatty foods. It doesn't lay in my stomach. So remember, you don't need to overeat on Thanksgiving. Spread it out, make it healthy, and have a happy holiday.